Attention, Niners Nation. The clock is ticking and the stakes are high as we enter a critical phase in contract talks with a player who has captured our hearts and ignited our hopes. Is the organization prepared to make the investment to keep this rising star in red and gold? Join me as we unpack the latest developments and what they could mean for our championship aspirations. Make sure to subscribe and like this video so you're always in the loop on the latest 49ers news. The San Francisco 49ers are in an intriguing position right now, especially regarding Brock Purdy's contract negotiations. As a passionate fan, I can't help but feel a mix of excitement and anxiety about how this plays out. Purdy has shown tremendous potential, and many of us are eager to see him solidify his role as the franchise quarterback. But let's be real. This is a delicate dance, and the stakes are high. If I were in Brock's shoes, or better yet his agent, I'd be looking at the big picture. The first step? Sit down with Brock and his wife and lay out their long-term goals. Sure, we all want that big payday, but health and championships also matter. Brock is in a unique situation. Typically, quarterbacks are high draft picks, but he's carved out his own path as a last-round selection. That gives him a different leverage in this negotiation. Now, reports are swirling about what Brock's camp is asking for. Rumors suggest something around $50 million per year. But I'd argue that if I were his agent, I'd want to push that to at least $52 million as a starting point. Why? Because it sends a clear message to the 49ers about how committed they are to protecting their investment. If they're serious about Brock being their guy, they need to step up. But here's where it gets even more interesting. We're just weeks away from the draft, and how the 49ers approach this could significantly impact negotiations. If they draft offensive linemen or skill players that will enhance Brock's game, it shows they're willing to invest in his future. If they don't, the conversation immediately shifts. I'd remind the 49ers that every dollar Brock gives up could mean less protection for him in the future. If they're not drafting to bolster their offensive line, why should Brock take a cut? Imagine the conversations happening behind closed doors. John Lynch is known for his honesty, and I'd hope that when he sits down to discuss numbers, he's transparent about his vision for the team and Brock's role in it. As fans, we want to see the team succeed, and that means making smart financial decisions that align with championship aspirations. And here's where my concern lies. There's a fine line between business and loyalty in the NFL. Do the 49ers truly value Brock as their future? Or are they simply weighing the financials against the risk of injury or performance drop-off? Honestly, I'm torn. On one hand, you want to be practical. On the other, you can't deny the emotional connection we have as fans to our players. Brock embodies the fighting spirit of the 49ers, and we want to see him thrive. As we move closer to the draft, it's crucial for us fans to engage in this conversation. What do you think? Is the $52 million starting point too high, too low, or just right? Do you believe the 49ers are doing enough to protect Brock? I want to hear your opinions down below. The decisions made in the coming weeks are pivotal, not just for Brock but for the entire franchise. If they make the right moves, it could set us up for a championship run. But if they miss the mark, it could leave us wondering what could have been. So, let's keep the discussion going. Are you optimistic about how these negotiations will unfold? Or do you think the 49ers need to reassess their strategy? I'm eager to hear your thoughts and expectations. The buzz around Brandon Ayuk potentially being on the trading block is heating up. And as a devoted 49ers fan, I can't help but feel a mix of excitement and anxiety. The San Francisco 49ers are trying to save some cash to extend Brock Purdy's contract, and with Ayuk's hefty option bonus of $22, $155 million due on April 1st, it looks like the team might be willing to part ways with him. This could be a significant move, and I want to break down what this means for our beloved Niners. Now, the Cleveland Browns seem to be the team most interested in trading for Ayuk. Reports indicate that they've been in talks before, even last year, when Ayuk signed that 4-year, $120 million deal with the 49ers. Back then, he wasn't keen on the idea of playing with Deshaun Watson, and you can understand why. But now, with Ayuk under contract until 2028, and the Browns potentially Looking to draft a new quarterback like Shadur Sanders, things might be different. Do you think Ayuk would be more open to the idea now? Honestly, I'm torn on this one. Let's not forget, Ayuk had a rough season last year with a torn ACL, LCL, and meniscus. It raises the question of when he'll be back to full strength. Will the Browns, or any team for that matter, take the risk on a player still working his way back from such serious injuries? The uncertainty surrounding his health adds another layer to this potential trade. If the 49ers are willing to move him just to save some money, they might only get a 4th or 5th round draft pick in return. But here's where it gets interesting. If Ayuk does manage to come back strong, the Browns could end up with a premier wide receiver without giving up too much. That's a gamble for them, and it could pay off big time if he returns to form by 2026. For us, as 49ers fans, it's a bittersweet thought. Losing Ayuk would be tough. He's a dynamic player who's shown immense potential. However, if the front office believes this is the right move to secure the future of our quarterback and the overall stability of the team, can we really argue against it? This brings us to a critical crossroads for the 49ers. If they trade Ayuk, it could free up the resources needed to solidify our roster and ensure that Brock Purdy has all the tools he needs to succeed. But at what cost? Are we willing to sacrifice a talented receiver, especially when the chemistry he's built with Purdy could be crucial for our offense? It's a decision with major implications, not just for the next season, but for years down the line. And you have to wonder what the front office is thinking. Are they prioritizing short-term gains or looking ahead? As a passionate fan, I want to believe they're making the best choices for the team's future, but sometimes these decisions can feel like a roll of the dice. So, what do I think? Is trading Ayuk the right path? It's complicated. I can see the logic behind it, but I also feel the weight of the potential loss. He's a playmaker who could shine under the right circumstances. I just hope that if the 49ers do decide to part ways with him, they have a solid plan in place to replace his talent. Now, I want to hear from you all. What do you think about this potential trade? Do you believe the 49ers should hold on to Ayuk, or is it time to move on and focus on the bigger picture? I want to hear your opinions down below. If you're as passionate about the 49ers as I am, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow fans, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all the latest news and rumors. And make sure to activate that notification bell to get all the latest updates. Let's keep this conversation going. And as always, go Niners!